Okay, good morning, guys. This is 8.4, multiplying special cases, with the objective to find the square of a binomial and to find the product of a sum and difference. Whoever is running the computer or the video, just raise your hand if you need it paused, and they'll pause it for you. That way everyone can get caught up. We'll keep on going, though. So special cases, you can do all of these problems the old way. It's very important to know, and I'll show you that. But you will save some time if you get a few of these memorized, and when you get to Algebra 2, you will sure appreciate knowing some of the shortcuts here. I'll get right into the main part here. So here's what would go into your notes. Go ahead and start working on this right here. This would be the right-hand side of your notes. And then I'll do a little explaining on it here. Okay, so as you read this here, if you notice a problem has the exact same thing, a plus b, raised to the second power, and I'll give you an example. Let's say you have x plus 4 raised to the second power. Technically, that means you have two of them. Now, instead of writing two of them out, let me show you what I mean by two of them. You'd have x plus 4 and another x plus 4. Okay? Rather than writing them out and then foiling like before, which really doesn't take a whole lot of time, I ain't gonna lie to you. So it's almost faster just to get this done this way. But anyway, or the table method, remember, x plus 4 and another x plus 4. Then you fill out your table with x and 4, x and 4, cross them up. Just like yesterday. Put the middle two together, and here's your answer. Okay, so this was the old way. Instead of doing that, you're supposed to be able to recognize these patterns, save a little time, and then get your answer a little bit quicker. So I'll erase this here, and let me show you how to do the quick method. So the first one is your a, and the second one is your b. And as you read this now, we're supposed to take our a and square it. So if you take your x, which is right here, and square it, it would be x squared. So I got this part done right here. The next thing is to double your a times your b. Your a is your x, and your b is your 4. One more time. Make sure you're following along here. Your a is the x, and the 4 is your b. Go ahead and take 4 times x. That's 4x. Now we're supposed to double it. That's how you get 8x. Now we're on the last part. You take your b value and you square it. Well, your b value is 4, and 4 squared is 16. So your final answer is x squared plus 8x plus 16, which is exactly what I got 2 seconds ago when I did it with the table method or the FOIL method. Okay, and it just takes a little practice, guys, and the memorization of this part right here. But like I said, you could always go the old route. Just make two of them. Throw them in the table, get the answer, not a problem. Okay, so it's brand new to you, so I'll write it down again. But to do the quick method, it would be a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Okay, so if we do it the quick method, it would look like this. We'd have the a, which is x, and square it. That's done. Now we're going to double our a times our b. So we'll take a times b. X times 8 is 8x. Double 8x, and you'd get 16x. And the last one, you take your b value and you square it, and 8 squared is 64. Okay? Or the traditional method is to write two of them out, x plus 8, x plus 8. Throw it in a table or FOIL it, and you get the same answer. Next one. If we keep on with this right here, you take your a value and you square it. 2m squared is 4m squared. Doubling your a times your b, your a is 2m. Your b is negative 3, so that'd be negative 6m. Doubled would be negative 12m. And the last part, take your b value and square it. Negative 3 squared would be positive 9. Okay. And moving on. Or you can do it the old way too. Remember, just write out 2 of them. Write out 2 of these, throw them in the table, get the right answer. Okay. I guess to do one more real quick here. So if you don't like what I just showed you, again, you could just go like this. N minus 7, N minus 7. And then you just put the middle 2 together. Yeah, and then things work out just fine. Either way is good. Okay, moving right along. We'll skip this one here just because I want the video to go a little faster. Same thing with this one, and we're on the last concept of the day. Now, if you notice a problem, and this goes on the right-hand side. Let's do that first. This goes on the right-hand side. Okay, if you notice that you have a problem that starts like this, x plus 2 and x minus 2. So they're similar, it's just the sign in between them is different. There is a quick way to do this one as well. And there it is, we'd follow this rule. We take our a, square it, minus our b, and square it. This one is quite a bit faster. Okay, so your a value is x. Your b value is 2. So according to this, we're supposed to take our a value and square it, which is x squared. We're almost done. We throw a negative sign in between. We take our b value and square it. Our b value is 2. You square it, you get 4. This is your final answer. That's all it's to it. So it is a lot faster, and this is a good one to have memorized. But if you don't like it, here's what you do. Set up your table using these numbers. You'll notice that the middle terms cancel out. Therefore, you'd have x squared and minus 4 left over, which is exactly what we got a little bit ago. So both ways are good. They work. Okay, next one for your notes. So the problem is the exact same problem, just this sign switched in between them. This is the shortcut. We'll have to identify our a value and identify our b value. If you take your a value and square it, it'd be x to the 6 minus. Take your b value and square it, 64, and you're done. Let me just show you the old way. Still pretty fast. This is going to give you x to the 6. Okay, the diagonals on this particular one cancel. So you'll be left over with x to the 6 minus 64. Okay, so it's really important to identify what's going on, and then you can be able to tell which quick method to use. So on all of these, they're the same, but the middle terms are different. So if I rip off letter C here, let's do that one. Okay, so the quick method, you have to first identify what quick method is, or you just go with the old way of the table. Either way is good. This quick method is a squared minus b squared. Your a value is 3c, your b value is 4. All right, here you go. So if you take 3c and square it, you'd have 9c squared. Then you put the minus sign. Take your b value and square it. So 4 squared would be 16. And that's it. Okay, and again, we'll skip this one here, and here's your homework. So the big thing is identifying what type of problem it is and what is the quick method for that problem. So on this problem here, you have two of the exact same thing. It's kind of like this, c plus 3 squared. So you'd have to use the quick method of a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Or again, you throw it in the table, and you just get the right answer. The correct answer for this one, so this is your A, this is your B. A squared would be the first one squared. Take c times 3, that's 3c, and double it, so 6c. And the last one, b squared, would be 9. There's your final answer. Okay. Now this one's different. This one right here is different. Number 2 is the same as the top one. These two are paired up because it's the exact same thing twice. You notice that the sign on number 3 is different in the middle. So you'd use a squared minus b squared. Your a value is 2r. If you square that, you get 4r squared minus. Your b squared is 3. 3 squared is 9. There's your final answer. Okay. All right, guys, that's the lesson. If you need to rewatch this, you would go to YouTube, and then you would search my last name. And then after that, A stands for algebra, and then this is section, I believe it is 8.4. I got to check to make sure, yeah. Okay. That's what you'd look up, and you can watch it, take notes on it again if you need to. If not, have a great day, everyone. And we will see you tomorrow.